Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I haven't been on here in a while, but I wanted to talk to you guys today. I'm here on this Sunday, this beautiful Sunday, in my office, just preparing and getting ready for a Reiki 1 class that I'm holding tomorrow. I just came back from a long walk and run in the park, which I love to do often because it does help me to be grounded, um, to be clear, and to be balanced. And I get a lot of information when I'm walking. It's like, okay, what do we need to talk about today? So I get a lot of my downloads when I'm walking in nature. And I guess that's why I'm talking to you guys today. I guess I had some downloads. Um, I, I'm in my sweats and my t-shirt and probably need to take a shower, but I will get there eventually. But I did want to stop by and just talk to you guys for a little bit. What's going on with everyone? Drop a comment. Let me know what's going on with you. Tell me, what is it you would like to talk about? What are some topics that you would like to talk about? I am an intuitive empath and Reiki master and teacher for those of you who do not know me, and I am the owner of Reiki by Isabella. So as an empath, for those of you who don't know what an empath is someone who can read energy. And I can feel other people's emotions, read their energy, know what's going on with them, can see things about themselves that they cannot see clearly, understand what's truly going on with them, and help them to bring all of that stuff into awareness so that they can start working on whatever it is that they need to work on. I do help to transmute that energy and put you into a place of peace and balance. And I love what I'm doing and what I do. So feel free to ask me some questions. I'm here. I'm here to serve. I'm here to help you uh, get to get to a place of being at peace with yourself. So whatever you have questions about, whatever topics you would like to talk about, drop me a comment. I'd be happy to help you out with that. Again, as an intuitive empath, I do get a lot of downloads. I do read people's energy. I feel a lot of the things that the person is feeling. I can walk into a room and someone who just left may have left some angry energy there, and I can feel that anger. I can feel people's sadness. I can see deep into a person's truth and soul and the things that they need to be healed with. It just kind of comes to me. So I do embrace that part of who I am. In the beginning, when I first started understanding, because I really didn't understand what an empath was, an intuitive empath nonetheless. But when I finally learned what I was, I just felt so much better. And what I find is I get so many clients who are empaths and intuitives. So I feel like they're being guided to me for a reason, and probably because I've been dealing with this for many years and have learned how to work with it, how to not allow it to control my life, became empowered by handling this energy, because as an empath we do feel a lot of stuff, and if you don't know that you are an empath, you can take on a lot of people's energies and be knocked out for days at end because that energy is so overwhelming. So what happens with a lot of empaths is they take on another person's energy and they feel like it's their energy. So they may have been happy 1 minute and then the next minute somebody walks by that was angry, and all of a sudden they're angry and they have no idea why they're angry. Or you may have just been in a company of somebody who's really sad, and all of a sudden you're feeling sad, and not understanding what is going on with you. You can walk into a room and just sense the energy in the room. So it can be burdensome and challenging for a lot of people who are empaths who don't really understand what it is. So it's always very important to keep yourself grounded, to learn as much as you can about it. There's so much on Google. You just mark it in, type it in, empath, and you will get a list of stuff. That have to do with being an empath and what you can do to protect yourself. It's always very important for us to stay grounded. And that's why I do so much walking and running and physical stuff, because it does help me to release a lot of energy. And not only am I an intuitive empath, but now I'm also a Reiki master and teacher. So I'm working with energy, tapping into energy all day long. So even more so, it's important for me to keep that under control and ground it and ground all that energy so it doesn't overwhelm me. Because there was a time in my life before I understood what it was that I was, where I would be wiped out completely for days, sometimes at a time. Emotions would be all over the place, and I could never understand what was going on. Or I knew when something was going to happen before it happened, or I always knew what somebody was thinking, and not saying. I knew what they were saying without them saying it. And I still can, but it's different now. It's more controlled now. I understand it now, so I'm protected more about it. And I have to say, being an intuitive empath is really a gift. It's a true gift, because it just helps you to understand people so much better and so much deeper. And it helps so much in my Reiki sessions, because I'm an intuitive empath. It helps me with understanding what's going on with my client. Where all their healing needs to be done. The things that they have been holding on to that they don't even know on a conscious level, they've been holding on to it. So not only does Reiki bring all of that stuff up to the surface, but also as an empath, I can decipher it and transmute that energy into positive energy. And that's why we feel so much more balanced after Reiki. And I can really tap into a lot of stuff. And it really does help me to understand what's going on with my client and help them in their healing needs. So I do enjoy and do embrace, I should say. I do embrace my gifts. And as an empath, I feel like my gifts have even increased even more. So I feel like I'm just more knowing, more seeing, more feeling, more hearing. And as weird as that sounds, it's part of who I am. And I embrace all of it. And when we embrace every part of who we are, meaning the gifted parts of us as well, we really do become more balanced with ourselves. But here we're talking about an empath, and I really was going to talk about something completely different. So I guess I was supposed to talk about being an empath. And I have to tell you, there is so many empaths out there. Oh my goodness, there is so many empaths out there that don't even know that they're empaths. And everyone is intuitive and empathic to some extent. It's just some are more aware of it than others. Some hide themselves. Some keep themselves away from people, places, and things because they can't handle that energy, because the energy can become overwhelming. But there is lots of things that you can do to prevent yourself from becoming exhausted and drained from that energy. So the topic that I really was going to talk about before we started talking about empaths is speaking our truths. Speaking our truths, living in our truths. It's so important for us to be 100% truthful with what is going on with us, how we are feeling, the experiences that we're going through, how they're affecting us. How do we really feel? What do we really want? What is going to make us happy? We can't keep all of that stuff inside, because it really does trap itself inside of you and block you. It blocks you from really moving forward, because you're holding on to all of this stuff that you're not expressing, and it has to show up in some way. So it's going to come out in anxiety or depression, or we've had this discussion in my last video, but it does really stop you from growing and moving forward. So, you have to ask yourself these questions. What do you want? What would make you happy? What do you truly want? And start expressing it. Start expressing how you're feeling. Express all of the things that you're going through. When we start to speak our truth, the universe really will start come in and work with us and help us to heal more, and help us to get into alignment with ourselves, because being in our truth, speaking our truth, really is us connecting to our truth, being who we are truly meant to be. So it's so important for us to acknowledge that. Get out of your way. Get out of your way. Let that shit go. Acknowledge it and just like, okay, I am so done with this stuff. I just want to be happy. I just want to do what makes me happy. I am so tired of trying to please other people. I am so tired of being something that I'm not, because I'm afraid of what other people are going to think, or what they're going to say, or what they expect from us. Why? Why would you put yourself in that place? It's not worth it. It's really not worth it. It's if you're not happy, if you are totally being drained by this stuff and having sleepless night over this stuff, then it's not in alignment with you. It's not in alignment with you. And when I say it's not in alignment with you, what I mean is it's not you. It's not you. You're being someone else. You're trying to be someone else. When we feel good and when we feel happy with whatever we're doing, and what we are experiencing, and it feels good to us, that's when we are in alignment with ourselves. I'm sorry, I'm getting so, overly anxious. I'm not anxious. I don't even want to say anxious, but just overly excited. Because I just feel like, oh my goodness, it's so sad to see that people just keep themselves stuck in these spots, in these positions, in these places that they're in, the sadness, this anger, the depression, all of these emotions. It's so sad, and it's upsetting, because we really have the power to change all of that stuff. It's energy. We really can change it all and create what we want to create for ourselves. But we have to believe it. We have to believe that we can do this. We have to trust ourselves. We have to be true to ourselves. And that means express how you feel. It's so important. Yeah, this person pissed me off. This person, aggravated me. Pay attention to that too, because those are triggers. When something happens, and I know I'm jumping back and forth, and my throat is acting weird. It's just because my throat chakra is opening. But I'm going to tell you, pay attention to our triggers, because our triggers are what the universe is trying to show us about ourselves. It's something that we need to heal within ourselves. So let's say, for instance, we're talking to somebody, right? And all of a sudden, we just become so angry. Like that person just repulses us, just annoys the hell out of us. They're just like, it's just something about them that you just don't like. It just starts to bring these emotions up out of nowhere. You're angry, you're repulsed. Why? Why do you think that? Pay attention to those triggers, because I'm telling you, the triggers are telling you something about yourself. That person that just caused you to go from one emotion to another in a split second is a trigger about, maybe there's something about that person that reminds you of somebody else, maybe from your past, that affected you in an emotional way that you could never, express or heal, you never expressed or healed, and you just kind of suppressed it. So that person reminds you energetically. It's not them, but it's the energy that they're bringing out, that emotion that they're bringing out in you. It's that energy that's connected to whatever that emotion is, that's connected to that person, place, or thing that caused you to be sad or angry. So the triggers really do tell us a lot about the things that we need to heal within ourselves. We have all kinds of situations. If somebody just triggers us like that out of nowhere, it's because the universe is saying, okay, you need to pay attention to that shit. Because let's say that person is bringing up something within you that you really need to look at, and it's going to keep coming up. And you're going to keep finding people like that that's going to keep triggering you in that way until you can actually recognize what's going on and what is it that you're supposed to see from that person, or see from that situation, or see from that trigger, because the triggers really uh, do affect us, and are connected to, I should say, connected to something that we've gone through in our lifetime, an experience we went through that we didn't really heal. So that person just pissed me off. What do they remind you of? They're putting me down, talking down to me. I'm really angry. Who do they remind you of? So in a lot of cases, it's, not to put blame on parents and stuff, or, people from our past, but a lot of times it's okay. My mom used to talk to me that way, or my dad used to treat me that way, always made me feel small or not good enough, that, I'll never amount to anything and I'm worthless, or there's something wrong with me, I'm not worthy. So pay attention to that. And it doesn't have to be parents. I'm just saying, when you look at it, a lot of it does come from our past. It just comes from our past, and our childhood. A lot of these wounds that we carry around with us are from our childhood experiences, things that we went through. Maybe we felt like we were abandoned by a parent, and we were in search for that love, that that acceptance, that true love that we've been searching for our whole lives, because we always felt abandoned or not good enough, by the things that were told to us, you know. So really do pay attention to those triggers, write about them, express them, acknowledge them. More importantly, you need to acknowledge them. You need to see them for what they are, and they're just things that are being shown to us that we need to heal within ourselves. Even relationships, like we are given a lot of karmic relationships, and karmic relationships are people who come into our lives, male, female, who really trigger the hell out of us. Like they're just back and forth. They're just back and forth. They cause all kinds of emotional ups and downs in our lives, all kinds of stuff within ourselves that we thought we had control over, or we thought we were done with, but they just kept triggering and bringing all of this stuff up, all of these emotions in us, because of something that they said or something that they did. But karmics are there to teach us something about ourselves. They're there to teach us, do you really want to be treated like shit? Really? Are you worthy? Are you not? Do you deserve love? Of course you do. But you have to recognize that. You have to see that. You have to see that. And that's what they're there to teach you. And karmics are not there for lifetimes, unless you choose to make them a lifetime partner. But karmics is just a lot of negativity. It's just a lot of negative energy, and they're just bringing up stuff. Not to say anything bad about a karmic relationship. Karmics are teaching us too, but you have to be the one to recognize what's going on here. This back and forth bull is just bull. It's bullshit. It's plain and simple. It's like, why do I have to always be angry or sad? Or, why can't I just be happy? Why can't I just be happy? And you can't be happy, honey, because you're not speaking your truth. You're not seeing what it is that you need to see. You're not healing what it is you need to heal. Yeah, karmics are there to show us stuff, and the experiences are there to show us stuff, but we need to learn that stuff. We can't just push it aside and say, I don't feel like dealing with this today. I'm not in the mood to deal with this. I don't care. Let me just stay where I am. It's familiar. I don't need to do anything. I don't want to do anything. I'm just done. I'm so tired. I'm exhausted. Do you know why you're tired and exhausted? because you're holding on to all that shit and you're not letting it go. You're not saying, well, hell, I don't need this bullshit in my life. I just want to be freaking happy. And I just need to recognize this stuff so that I can be happy. Acknowledge it. Acknowledge it. You need to love yourself first. First. Priority. When you love yourself, all of the other stuff comes, all of the good stuff comes. And you know what they say, the law of attraction, like attracts like. Even like certain times in our lives where we're, with certain relationships, where we're feeling down about ourselves. We're going back and forth with it, with that relationship, not completely understanding what's going on. But every time we're triggered with some kind of emotion, it is really the universe trying to show us something that needs to be healed, in ourselves. And when we start to speak our truth about what we're feeling and saying, hell no, I deserve better than this. I don't need this. This is not me. This is not making me happy. And like I said earlier, when we're not feeling happy, when we're out of it, and we're just feeling like it's just one bad thing after another happening in our lives, over and over and over, it's because we're not in alignment with us. We're not being true to ourselves. We're not acknowledging what we need to acknowledge. We're not listening. We're not listening to the universe, because the universe is trying to show us. It's trying to tell us, like, listen, this is just an experience that's teaching us a lesson about ourselves. It's not that bad unless we make it bad. Recognize it, okay? Because you deserve to be loved. You're a divine creation. The divine created us to be divine beings. Love. We're love. We are love. But we can't be love if we don't love ourselves, right? We can only be love when we speak our truth, live our truth, and are in our truth. Then when we get to that place of feeling that love, that intense love for ourselves, because you have to love yourself first. Unconditional love comes from you first. You have to love yourself unconditionally. Those experiences, don't let them define who you are. Let them teach you a lesson, whatever it is you need to learn, but don't let them define you, because it's not you. It's just an experience. It's just energy, really. And we can control it. Wrap it up and throw it away. Learn what we need to learn and get rid of it. Okay, next. What's next? And just keep moving forward. Keep it moving. And the more you take it, acknowledge it, feel it, release it, the more, you start to feel better. And you're just dealing with everything so much better. So just know you're divine. You're a divine creation. You are not supposed to be unhappy and miserable and going through all of this stuff. Yeah, you need to go through it to learn whatever you're supposed to learn from it, but you don't need to stay there. You don't need to stay there. What truly makes you happy? What do you want? What do you want? And you deserve everything and anything that your heart desires. You're lovable. You're love. You're beautiful. You're everything. You deserve this love. You deserve this happiness. You deserve everything and anything. But you're only going to get to that place when you start to acknowledge who you are, and that all of this stuff is just experiences and lessons. It's just energy. We don't have to stay in this place. We don't have to stay in this place unless you choose to. Sometimes it's easier for people to just stay in a place because, again, it's familiar. They're used to it. It's a way of being that they created for themselves. And it's scary to make change. It's scary to change things in our lives, because especially if you're not feeling good about yourself. Because if you're not feeling good about you, change is even scarier. Because it's like, oh my gosh, I got to change. I don't know how to do this. I'm not good enough. I don't deserve this. I don't deserve that. Yes, you do. Why? Because you're divine. You're a god and you are goddesses. You are a god or goddess. And you need to believe that and trust yourself because you deserve everything and anything that you want. Our truth is going to set us free. When we speak our truth, we really break those illusions that we created for ourselves, those prisons that we put ourselves in. Those prisons that we put ourselves in is just all of the stuff that we've been holding on to from our past experiences that we never let go of because we never felt worthy enough, But really those experiences are just lessons, and you have to look at that as just a lesson. It's just energy. Be true to you. Be true to you. Be happy. So I don't know. I went from one thing to the next. I have no idea what we talked about. But most importantly, I just want you guys to love yourselves. Go through the shit that you need to go through. Handle it. But get rid of it. Don't stay in it. Don't stay in it. Because it really is stopping you from really, just moving forward and being happy. You deserve to be happy. Again, if you have any other topics that you would like to talk to me about, or that you would like for me to talk about, if there's any type of healing work that you would like me to guide you in, reach out. Reach out to me. Send me a comment. You can email Reiki by Isabella at gmail.com. You can visit my website, Isabella-Reiki.com. I'll have it in the bottom, in the comment section. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram. I'll put all of those links on the bottom of the page. But let's just get through this. Let's not stay stuck anymore. We deserve everything and anything that we desire. But it starts with you loving you first, just loving yourself, being true to you. All right, beautiful people. It was fun chatting with you, but I think I have to leave now because I need to go home and take a shower. Have an amazing day, remainder of the day, and an amazing week. And I will talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.